Hello and good evening, everyone. Bonsoir tout le monde. Bienvenue. Merci d'être là avec nous ce soir. Thank you for joining us this evening for the long anticipated return of the Black Theatre Workshop Poetry Jam. We are super excited for this event and very, very excited to have you joining us. So thank you so very much. It is Friday, February the 12th, 2021. Here we are in a virtual world, so much longer than we had anticipated. I just want to say that I hope that you and all of your loved ones are doing well, are staying safe and healthy, and taking good care of yourselves and, of course, of each other. We really need to be doing that right now. But tonight is an opportunity for us to come together and celebrate the beauty and the power of the spoken word. And I'm very excited about this because the Black Theatre Workshop Poetry Jam is an event that started many seasons ago, but we actually haven't done the event in several years now. And this is the perfect time to be able to come together in a virtual space and to celebrate this wonderful, beautiful art form. We're very fortunate this evening to have some of our cities or some of our countries' most talented spoken wordsmiths. Many of them have participated in the Poetry Jam over the course of many years at Black Theatre Workshop. And tonight they have been invited as professionals to be able to come in and share their work with us. So we're super excited for them to be joining us. We have 5 artists who are going to be performing, and then at the end of the evening, we're going to bring everyone back together to have a little bit of a roundtable discussion. So please make sure to stick around for that. And if you have any questions for any of the artists, feel free to put them into the comments if you're watching on Facebook. And time permitting, if we can, we'll get to some of those questions if at all possible. The last thing that I'm going to say before we get things going is that we haven't seen or heard any of these works before. Some of them are brand new for the poets. Some of them may be back pocket ones they have, who knows? And so in that regard, I'm just gonna give kind of a blanket content warning that even though tonight's theme, which is love and resilience, that can take us, of course, into many different directions. And so just be aware that there may or may not be some language and some sensitive content. So I just wanna put that out there so that everyone has an opportunity to be aware that that could come up later on during the course of the event. Okay, so that's enough. That's enough of me. Now it's my pleasure to introduce, first of all, our lovely and talented host for the evening. She herself is an incredible talent, an incredible spoken word artist. She has participated in and won our Poetry Jam competition events over the course of many years. In the past, she co-hosted the virtual Vision Celebration Gala with me just a couple of weeks ago. And of course, she is a very dedicated member of the board of directors at Black Theatre Workshop. So here she is to hold space for us this evening, the wonderful and talented Ms. Deanna Smith.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for that, Quincy.
My absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am so happy to be here with these talented and incredibly passionate people. For those of you who haven't been to a poetry jam before, welcome. For those who haven't, who have been, welcome back. It's been a minute, and like Quincy said, we have been anticipating being here for a really long time. Indeed. We are going through difficult things. We are here to talk about love and resilience. I don't know anyone who doesn't need a little bit or a lot more of both. So please relax, unclench your jaw, let go of all that stuff in the lower back, get some water. Other beverages are nice too, but water is the one that sustains life, and that's what we want to do. We want to sustain and pour into your life tonight. I'm excited to hear it. I hope you are too. Yes, enjoy.
I'm very excited. I'm going to step away now, Deanna, because I know that with you, everything is in very capable hands. So thank you once again for being our glorious host, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So, mesdames et messieurs, tout le monde, gentlemen, gentlewomen, gentle folks, and gentle souls, lovers of poets and lovers of poetry, enjoy. We have 5 incredible people to come to share with you, and I am looking forward to it as much as you are. Our first poet is Svenz Telemach. He is one of the most inspiring speakers and youth advocates you will ever hear. He is a survivor and a thriver, and someone who wants people to understand that brokenness is not the end. He is a social entrepreneur and an incredible spoken word artist. So please welcome Svenz Telemach. Hello, Svenz. I don't hear you. Uh-oh.
Well,
hello.
You hear me now?
I hear you. Perfect.
Perfect.
How are you?
I'm blessed to be here, Deanna. How are you?
I'm excellent. Now, it's been a day, but I'm looking forward to the love and the resilience. So I will let you take it away.
Pride. Pride was the encasement guarding my love. I had no choice but to heal. Thorns were my defense protecting me from trust I chose to reveal. Sealed with dew beaded across my face from tears my heart did cry. Love. Love, I chose to love even if it means inflicting pain, I'll try. Fear was the branch that kept me suspended. I chose to leap. Doubt was the soul that buried me under suspicion. I chose to reach. Reach for the sky through a crevice only love could pervade. Hope. I chose to love even if it means possible deception. Hope I will embrace. Taste was my decision out for the fruit of love, ripe and mature. And I choose you today and believe you me, I've tried to escape your allure, tried to escape your bonjours, your bon après-midis, and comment ça va? According to you, I was held together by something sweet called baklava. Convoluted, concluded, love. Love. This was my first poem entitled Pride. And now I'm going to share my second poem that I just came up with, so it's really fresh. My heart has become like Braille. If you don't touch me, you won't understand. My heart has become like Braille. If you don't touch me, you won't understand. Rigid, like calloused hands, cracked, like parched and barren earth in war-torn Sudan. My heart has become weary, like hope gouged out of the sockets of a dreamer. I'm fragile. Please hold me this side up. I've wrestled with God and broke my femur. My will dwindles like a lone flame dancing against a cold front in dispense. Watch me glow in fickle in suspense. Watch me grow in moments where I'm most tense. Most tend to see my smile and not the tears I've cried before. I feel like a sequoia hollowed out by rodents on the forest floor. Pour out your affection. I can love you even from here. Provide you with refuge and no longer be controlled by this puppeteer. In spite of fears that bombard my peace and anguish trying to strike me at my peak, I promise I'll leave this precipice just to show the mountain inside in me. Confide in me, show me your fears, unravel your gauze, I'll dress your wounds and puncture your dark sky with stars and usher you to the moon. Tune your beat to my drum, let us sing in one accord, bridging together love and forgiveness once more.
Thank you, Svenz. Thank you so much. There were so many things that jumped out at me, but one of them was I chose to reach. I don't know why, but that one really means a lot to me because I think it's something that we need to do right now while we're secluded and confined. And so reaching is an important thing. And I thank you for reminding us of that.
Thank you so much, Deanna. It's a blessing.
Thank you. Our next performer is Shanice Nicole. She is a Black feminist educator, facilitator, published author. She is an outspoken word artist. She believes that everyone has the power to make change and to make dreams come true. She wants a freer world for all of us. She inspires and challenges. She exemplifies what unapologetic love for Black people looks like. She is a learner and a seeker of what is right. She is invested in care for the soul. See what else she has to say at Shanice Nicole Speaks on Facebook and Instagram. Please welcome Shanice Nicole. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm so happy to be here. We made it to Friday.
We did. We did. To Friday, to February, to 2021.
Mm-hmm.
take the floor and pour into 2021 for us, please.
With pleasure. So this first piece is called #Which Black Lives Matter. Don't say Black Lives Matter unless you mean all of them. Otherwise, you become part of the problem. If you're gonna pick and choose whose life is more worthy, it ain't up to you. Don't say Black Lives Matter unless you mean all of them. Every single Black life, every last one people, one community, one race. And no, not the humankind. Don't be fucking whack right now. I'm talking Black, talking back with my middle fingers high in the sky, pointing them at anyone who tries to deny any Black life. As I stand here beside with my eyes, ears, heart, mind open wide, ready to unlearn. And then ready to learn, ready to teach, ready to listen, ready to preach. Because when lives have been breached, sucked dry and dead like a hungry leech, we each have a responsibility to speak up, to speak out, to fight for, to fight about this drought that will kill us. This drought that is killing us. This drought of justice. This drought of peace. But still no drought of racist ass police. And even though it may feel like we are drowning, in reality, this is a drought, just a different type of suffering. Our parched throats beg for the empty taste of water on our tongues, just a sip we plead as we cry out from our lungs. But water is life and life is water, so without it we have none. But some of us have some. Some of us have bottles full and taps that run, yet some of us are thirsty as if lost under the desert sun. So when you say Black Lives Matter, tell me which ones. Because if it's only cis, straight, slim, pretty boys and girls who look like me with access to money and no disabilities and just the right dosage of respectability, then tell me which ones. Don't say Black Lives Matter unless you mean all of them. The trans ones, the queer ones, the fat ones, the unattractive ones. Yes, beauty privilege is real. The poor ones, the disabled ones, the ones considered less than ideal. I need you to feel, I need you to feast on these words as if they were your last meal. All of us or none of us. Not one, not some. All of us or none of us, to fight back and overcome. All of us or none of us. This is the only deal. All of us or none of us. This is how we heal. All of us or none of us, together as one. All of us or none of us, to survive and say we won. All of us or none of us is exactly what I mean. So until all of us no longer thirst to be free, none of us anywhere ever will be. Thank you. My second poem is a poem that has actually been turned into a children's book called Dear Black Girls. So I'm doing a little plug for this book that was published on Monday. And so this is the first week of it being out in the world officially, and I just thought I would share it here with you. And this is called Dear Black Girls. Written by Shanice, Nicole, and illustrated by Kesna Dowles. Dear Black girls, yes, you, the ones who are starting something new and wondering how you'll do. Yes, you, the ones who have big feelings in your minds and bodies. Yes, you, the ones who are looking in the mirror and wondering if you like what you see. Yes, you, the ones who are chasing one of your many magical dreams. Yes, you, Black girls. Yes, you. Dear Black girls all around the world, this one is for you. for us. Dear Black girls, I love the way your Black skin wraps itself around you as if it never wants to let go, as if your color is the richest thing it has ever known. Dear Black girls, I love the way the kinks in your curls twirl, bouncing and free afros worn like crowns with hair defying gravity. Protected in locks and braids and under wigs and weaves, because whatever you choose is up to you, queens. And know that this goes for the rest of your body, and anyone who tells you different doesn't have to live, breathe, be, exist in it. So please let it be known that your body is your own and only yours, dear Black girls. Dear Black girls, I love the way your foreheads take up space on your face. Strong, big, and wide like the oceans many of our ancestors survived, hard, protecting the wonder that is your mind. Dear Black girls, I love the way your lips and mouths are full as if they're already packed with the stories you'll share and the lessons you'll learn, full as if they're already ready for the battles you'll face as you travel through time and space. Ready to fight and laugh and kiss and love and scream, and everything else in between you will have to do because you are a Black girl in this world. Dear Black girls, I love the way your body curves like your mama's and hers. Ancestry running through your veins, reminding you each and every day of who and what you come from. The where isn't always clear because the where isn't always known. Our histories aren't always shown. So many stories have been sewn, pieced together, and fabricated, and then used as a means of educating little Black girls so that you grow up in this world thinking you are not loved, thinking you are not everything. But dear Black girls, all around the world, despite all you may feel, think, hear, or see, know that you are honored, protected, and loved by Black girls like me. Thank you. And my final piece, in honor, and especially in honor of tonight's theme, love and resilience, especially in honor of Black History Month, which we celebrate in February, but really should be all year long. This is called Black Love. The revolution looks like Black love. The revolution looks like Black love because Black love is the revolution. Beautiful Black bodies birthing beautiful Black babies until all we see is we. Until all we see is us, and that would be enough for me. Trust, because I believe in Black love. Because I believe in Black love, because I believe in Black love, even when I am told not to. Even when I am sold not to. I believe because I know how powerful, how magical, how radical it is for us to love ourselves and for us to love each other. Every sibling, every sister, every brother. When we live in a world that is convinced that we are not worthy of it, and whose sole purpose, it seems, is to convince us to. So when we choose Black love, when I say I choose to love you, and you, and you, how is that anything but a revolution? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shanice. Thank you for the book and for sharing your work. I just want to say the last line of what you just said, choosing you and you and you, is so powerful. We have both been in our respective love relationships for a long time, And we are definitely not who we were when we started. No one ever is, as they evolve and they grow. And so it is so powerful to be reminded that you choose to love this person again and again and again in all of their iterations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dina.
Whew, is everybody okay? Our next poet is Fabrice Kofi. He is a humble and generous maestro of the spoken word form, a cappella and with accompaniment. He is a profoundly talented storyteller and seamlessly weaves what is so simple about life with what is so unimaginably complex about being human into unforgettable performances. Il est superbe et j'aimerais qu'on accueille Fabrice Kofi. Bonjour.
Bonjour ma chère, comment tu vas?
Ça va très bien, toi?
Merci pour la belle présentation.
Tu me manques énormément, je suis contente de te voir. C'est à toi.
Je suis noir. Et je m'appelle Serge. J'ai 32 ans. J'habite dans le appartement. Je suis sur le cercle de logement. J'y mange, j'y dors. Et la nuit, je m'y mens. Quartier simple. C'est sympathique. Moi, je vais trop. Ouais, ça, c'est sympathique. Le bus sur les lots. Pas comme jamais en retard. Et souvent, on avance. Je sors toujours le bus juste. C'est que là, il n'y a pas loin. Là, je vois le bus qui passe. Je m'en grille sur le coin. Là, je m'en prochain. En quartier, je m'appelle sur les chansons. Proche. On vit tous la même vie. Il y a pas un pote commun. C'est Manuel, le concierge. On a depuis là. On ne voit d'autre chose. Là, juste à côté chez le voisin. Le jeune frère, il vit seul dans son magasin. Pendant qu'on est en étage. Aussi la salle de lavage. Censé fermer à 9h, mais à 2h du mat, fait des ravages. Avec 2 machines laveuses, sécheuses. 14 logements. Tu comprends là? Pour certains, c'est dur de faire autrement. Chanceux. Et croise. Là, Isabelle, là.
Mon frère.
Elle fait.
On t'entend pas. Il y a eu des problèmes d'internet ou je sais pas qu'est-ce qui est
Sérieux?
arrivé. Oui.
Est-ce que là on m'entend? On est revenu là?
C'est comme ça coupe un peu.
Est-ce que tu m'entends?
Oui, mais il y a un délai, il y a quelque chose. C'est l'internet? C'est où tu es dans la maison? C'est.
Non, je pense pas. Moi, j'ai un délai depuis le
Là,
début
ça
en tout cas. Mais moi, j'avais des délais quand la maison passait de temps en temps. Et non, je suis là, tout va bien.
On peut recommencer? I'm sorry.
Mais avec plaisir. Tu rigoles quoi? On parle de poésie. Une belle soirée entre nous. Bien sûr qu'on peut recommencer.
Thank you.
On est bon, laissez-moi savoir, aucun problème. Je suis moi. Je m'appelle Serge et j'ai 32 ans. J'habite dans un bloc appartement. Demi-sous-sol me sert de logement. J'y mange, j'y dors et la nuit, je m'y mens. Quartier simple et sympathique. Moi, le métro, ça c'est ma pratique. Le bus, sur le quoi quand j'y pense, jamais en retard. Et souvent en avance. Je sors toujours un peu juste, c'est vrai. Mais c'est que là, il n'est pas loin. Là, je vois le bus qui passe. Alors, je m'en grille une sur le coin. En attendant le prochain, c'est pas toujours proche. Dans le quartier, avec ma animation, les gens sont proches. Hein.
Ça arrive encore.
On vit tous la même vie. Ça comment?
Oui. On ne sait pas quoi faire. Est-ce qu'il y a un autre endroit chez toi?
Juste là, maintenant?
Oui.
Mais je peux faire ça, la lumière, ça va être compliqué.
Je sais pas. Family, we just want to get this right because we don't want to miss a word.
Bien sûr, on n'a pas le choix. Je fais parce que.
Ben là, quand je suis là, je sais pas. Peut-être c'est moi. Je t'amène good luck. Peut-être, je sais pas, parce que là, je suis là, on t'entend très bien.
Ok, donc là, tout va bien pour l'instant. Je parle, ça marche, 10 sur 10.
Oui, bon, moi, je reste là. Toi, continue.
Boom, let's go.
Okay.
Moi, je m'appelle Serge et j'ai 32 ans. J'habite dans l'appartement. Tout seul, c'est le logement qui mange. Dors la nuit. Quartier simple, sympathique. C'est que l'arrêt est pas loin. Là, je vois le bus qui passe. OK, mais là, est-ce
Non,
qu'on
mais
essaie de passer
là,
à quelqu'un d'autre?
Non, mais là, du coup, ça a commencé à marcher. Je ne sais pas pourquoi. Là, tu parlais de l'arrêt de l'autobus et du coup, ça allait bien.
Mais avant, ça marchait ou ça marchait pas avant?
Non, ça coupait.
OK, d'accord. OK.
Tu veux, on va passer à Rowan et on va revenir?
On va faire ça.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Rowan. We're gonna try to fix whatever technical stuff we can. I am so sorry for Fabrice having to stop and restart, but we want you to hear every word. On veut que vous entendiez absolument tout ce qu'il ait à nous dire. Donc, on va passer à la prochaine personne. Rowan is a champion for youth. She is a fighter for all that youth deserve and need and want. She uses her life experience and a difficult youth of her own to show that transcendence is possible. She is a woman of deep and abiding faith, deep and abiding energy, and she is committed to wellness, mental, spiritual, physical, financial, and all of the rest. And she does so with extraordinary flow, diction, and what can I say? Starlight. Rowan, please join us. Welcome, Rowan Higgins.
Thank you for having me. What an introduction.
Listen, it's all true. It's all true.
I appreciate that.
Please bless us. We're waiting. We're welcoming you.
All right. So hopefully my sound kicks in proper. Okay. So, you know, as Black women, we have love and resilience with her story. So I'm going to go in and speak about our hair story. Her hair curls tight like her clenched fist salute. Miss Caramel speaks out like her black corona do. She uses her Afro pick to make a bigger statement that she is proud and militant and she will not conceal it. One nutmeg sister wanted her curls to mesmerize, so she went and called up Jerry to get her texturized. And when her look got dry, she just pressed the activator. Then her and Jerry fell out, so she went through with the leisure. Miss Cocoa Butter Brown, lips kissed with a wet and wild 508. Big bangs, shaved back head, asymmetric bob permed, bone straight. Blonde streaks and designs was sprayed and shimmered with the glitter. Finger waves and pineapple curls, hair hard as a stale fritter. Big box braids with gold beads made Ebony look like a queen. Walked down the block, her pendulum braids clicking made heads turn on the scene. Miss Browning with the Coca-Bacca ship, braids in rows so tight her eyebrows raised. Next thing you know, she screw fierce and have headache. Take what out? She not watch no fierce. When Miss Mocha Brown goes out, she's always fly. Shoes and purse to match her hair, which she frequently dyes. Soon all the color of perm and black gel gave her a bad break, so she selected a canicolon that soon changed her fate. Empress with her almond toasted skin spiritually felt a movement from within to deter from all things toxic or not authentic, so she shaved her head and grew palm roll twist. Now adorned with cowrie shells and vanilla bean essence, they made fun of my big plaits. Bubbles, ribbons, clips, and rubber bands. The beehive braid style. Chiny bumps looking like Hellraiser's child. Now our Bantu knots and Senegalese twister on Hollywood's files. Child, it was a necessity to do what had to be done. To tame our mane so flawlessly with combs, conditioner, castor oils, and Jamaican rum. Dachshund hair food was intertwined with every wisp of our creativity. Sitting between someone's legs, begging at their mercy. Trusting them with a hot comb, pressing on your nerves. Counting down the time your scalp screams at the perm, they call it relax, sir. Rollers, hair dryer, then flat iron to go back and get curled. Smile in the mirror and say thank you to leave that door, cursing her for your tender, receding hairlines and scabs that you start to pick. No one ever knows this because a Black woman never reveals it. Always has admirers who prayed that there was a time limit. But she walks proud and knows that it was worth every minute. Her proportion is the hourglass, but time still never tells. Her age, her experiences, and genetics treats her well. One thing that time can tell is the Black woman's hair story. Even though the misses differ, they reflect time culturally. They are the wave nouveau and the salt and pepper curly, the braids that says, I am manicured, but still me. The ones that say, bona fide from Nicole and Ternati. But through it all, we all love to watch each other's dome and recognize a crick neck from avoiding that pillow. We smile and see our motherland through all of our hair shows. Rust-colored mud is a true dark and lovely. So remember, the next coif you see is artistically a timeline of character, experiences, and emotions expressed naturally. Thank you. So my second piece is, I think it was one of my third BTW Poetry Jams. And the theme was love. So I felt it was only right to do it tonight. So love is. You were admired, trusted, feared, then dumped into trenches. Suffering from fatal injury, inhaling decomposing stenches. Calculating for the enemy to counteract, to execute your death sentence. Love is wearing a bulletproof vest when it's useless because you have a chemical grenade embedded in your chest. Sounds simple to remove, but there are many great risks. One being, it will detonate, leave you in death's clenched fist. You are now strong, secured, and protected. But then in an instant when you felt most safe, you're attacked. Not once, but twice by this terrorist called love. Love is seeing the red flag, but still volunteering for this kamikaze mission. You're so filled with hate, it's now your preferred ammunition. That is a reason for your treason. Then you call truce, but you still return next season. Love is standing with that tattered white flag in your back pocket, but still on red alert with those you meet, strategically thinking how to sink their fleets with rockets. I can empathize with your battle of love, but for me, love has been like a game. In unfriendly waters, I sit in my battleship, playing Trivial Pursuit, trying to figure out my next move. Then I got hit. I started to scrabble. Too late, we're sinking. Let's climb the snakes and ladders. I got to 98 and rolled a die off my tongue, and I was in trouble. I cried SOS and landed on a chessboard, standing next to a king who doesn't think I'm worth fighting for, so I go searching for my knight in shining armor. My vision gets blocked by these pawns. It was like finding Waldo. Yet, I still have more X's than tic-tac-toe. I slow down, search some more. Suddenly, I connect for intimacy, passion, communication, and most of all, love is commitment. Love is not an emotion. It is a decision to commit in all the areas of our lives. Love is a definition to our very existence. Love is. Thank you. So my last piece is called Duty of Love. And as I was writing it today, it was a lot of emotions. This title, Thank You, BTW, was a tough one to really deal with. So I'll just go in. Rose is my family name, my mother's side, and here it is. I'm tired of trying to love you. Loving you is not easy just because you're beautiful, Rose. Yes, you are delicate, majestic, and soft to the touch. Well, sometimes. Sometimes I feel, though I see your best and reach out with perennial love, you bite back from your pain, which stems from your insecurities. Thorns in my flesh you are, as you get pricked by your memories of being plucked to bleed on me. But with my values of respect and loyalty, I hold on and I don't let go. For duty calls me to hold on to try to place you back where you were uprooted. But still, you don't trust me. Strained smiles in a bouquet of distilled thank yous. But from your stigma, you mistrust. Your mistrust germinates. I wish I knew how to truly love you better, but all I know is this space between us. So from a distance, I scatter my words of light and pray they will pollinate within your heart to take away the darkness that was planted before my very existence. I feed you with what I believe is just necessary. Beyond that would mean for me to give more of me, from your ovaries and you from mine. My pistol is now empty. I don't know how to produce what I've never received. A warm embrace of petals around the filament, or a soft velvet, I love you, dear, has never even caressed my ear. How can I give or search for love when it's the very thing I don't recognize? So all I know is to be resilient in the duty of love, to keep showing up, to check in and make sure you have enough light, to protect you from the pest and other diseases that seek to destroy you and move beyond the fertile lies. I desire to open my petals as well, but I fear once I truly blossom and stay open, I will wilt, waiting for a rare love or fall in a time lapse of seasons gone by. So closed, I choose to stay and take care of you out of the duty of love. The only petals I've ever known to embrace me on my own. I fear to open up for them to be pulled off and have you leave me alone in a splintered crystal vase. So from up close, I still love you distantly. I care for you because I think I'm supposed to, or maybe I love you just because. I'm here in my version of perpetual love, unopened. But one day I hope to stand in full bloom before you, with petals extended, open to love beyond duty. But maybe we can try again next spring. Thank you.
Rowan, you must make me fell out my chair. Okay. Did you say pain stems from insecurity?
Yes.
Let those who have ears to hear hear. There are so many ways that we need to heal our love intimately of family and partners and friends, and just let us hear. Thank you for that. I hope we remember that. Pain stemming from insecurities. We do not want to let that grow. Thank you so much, Rowan.
Thank you.
On va essayer avec notre poète urbain. We're going to try again with Fabrice. He's in a different spot right now. Fabrice, are you ready?
I am. Getting intimate here.
Okay, go slow for the people. Go slow for the people.
Alléluia, I'll do that.
It's all yours.
Je m'appelle Serge. J'ai 32 ans. J'habite un bloc appartement. Demi-sous-sol me sert de logement, j'y mange, j'y dors et la nuit, je m'y mens. Quartier simple et sympathique. Loin du métro. Ça, c'est moins pratique. Le bus réglo. Quoi quand j'y pense, jamais en retard et souvent en avance. Je sors toujours un peu juste, c'est vrai, mais c'est clair, pas loin. La le bus qui passe. Alors je m'engrine sur le coin. En attendant le prochain, c'est pas toujours poche. Hein. Dans le quartier, je mate l'animation, les gens sont proches. Hein. On vit tous la même vie, liés par un pote commun. C'est Manuel, le concierge. Il y en a des plus d'un. Pour du pote ou autre chose, t'as juste à cogner chez le voisin. Le jeune Fred, il vit seul dans son magasin. Pendant qu'on a mon étage, aussi la salle de lavage, censée fermer à 2h, mais à 9h fait des ravages. Mais avec 2 machines, laveuse, sécheuse, 14 logements. Tu comprendras que pour certains, c'est dur de faire autrement. Chanceux, tu croiseras Isabelle, la belle haïtienne, au bassin et aux courbes aussi belle qu'une sirène. Elle fait la brassée pour toute la famille, j'ai envie de un ange délire. Disons juste qu'elle a de l'élan. Ce serait cool d'en avoir une bonne dose dans le coin. Cool aussi d'en avoir moins cherchant leur dose dans le coin. Raoul, mec au 4e, sympa, marié et tout. À le voir, tu croirais pas, mais l'extérieur, c'est pas tout. Hein. Il est souvent devant l'immeuble, tout souriant. Souvent aussi une bande de jeunes qui tous en riant. Des gens passent voir Raoul, tu sais, des gens perdus, des gens que tu comprends pas. Donc le problème perdure. C'est vrai qu'il y a des étranges au regard vide des larmes. Mais c'est dur d'être un ange quand tu es vidé de larmes. Quand la vie t'a pressé, que tu ne peux plus t'apprécier, tu l'as l'ordre du Loch Ness, l'oncle compte à sa nièce. Souvent, ils feraient tout pour avoir leur dose, mais tant de fois, on n'a rien fait attendant qu'ils implosent. On les voit se dégrader, mais ce ne sera pas nous. La petite haïtienne joue avec le jeune québécois. Tu vois, quand je vois ça, moi, ça me rend cabas, quoi. Ça met KO direct, une plante verte dans l'asphalte. Et si le monde le laisse comme ça, voilà sa nouvelle face. Billy vend sa poutine à côté de l'autre, l'haïtien. Les odeurs de la Chine sont à 2 pas. Allez, viens, en face, chez le Péruvien. Il ne prend même pas ton passeport. Vouloir vivre ensemble, tu vois, chez nous, ce n'est pas un sport. En fait, on rêve tous de mieux avec chacun ses moyens. Si certains s'apitoient, certains autres, tiens-toi bien, se tiennent dignes et debout devant ceux. T'as pas le droit. Wallis tienne, c'est ton droit, mais ça, t'as pas à le croire. Le mec au dépanneur s'inquiète pour ce qu'il va fonder. Il me dit, Serge, les gens passent leur temps foncés. Man, ça coûte pas cher. Et les gens comme ça. Le système crée le monstre et il se cache les yeux, mon frère. Et il éclate de rire. Allez, à la prochaine fois, je dis. Le quartier demeure, ma foi, loin des projecteurs. À moins d'une émeute. Le monde est croche, j'ai peur. Émeute qui aura suivi une bavure policière. Pour eux, un gang de rue. Pour nous, un proche, j'ai peur. And for my second piece, I just wrote something. It's really, really fresh. So forgive me if my eyes stay on the page more than interacting with you. Depuis ce temps, quand je tombe, je me rêve. Quand les temps semblent trop sombres, que la lumière ressemble aux ombres, les yeux dans le vide, au bord du ravin, je me rarrive. Depuis ce temps, quand je tombe, je me rêve. 400 ans d'une terre à l'autre, offrir ses souffrances et ses rires à l'autre, subir offense de côte à côte. 400 ans d'une rive à l'autre, de l'eau salée, j'en ai bu des litres. Mais je suis là. Malgré tout, grâce à vous, j'ai l'amour de moi. Amour des multiples moi en ce monde. Black arc-en-ciel, ton amour m'émeut. Noir comme l'espoir et pour ces mots, je m'aime. Grâce à vous, je sais ce que je vaux. Histoire sont les épaules sur lesquelles je vais. Votre amour et résilience ont fait de moi qui je suis. Noire femme, si seulement j'avais su. Mais ton histoire dans nos livres, on ne l'enseigne. Seule enseigne, tu es la sève. Après tous ces siècles, subis encore, douleur au cœur, souris en cœur, se résigne encore. J'espère aimer à ta hauteur. Depuis ce temps, quand je tombe, je me rêve. Quand les temps semblent sombres, que la lumière ressemble aux ombres, les yeux dans le vide au bord du ravin, je me ravive. Quand je tombe, je me rêve. Quand les temps sont durs et que les nuits sont amères, revêt ton amour d'or pur trempé dans l'amour. Là, à contre-courant, contre le temps, contre la gravité, gravitons. Dans l'obscurité, une étincelle est plus puissante qu'un canon et toi, tu es une bougie. Ici, dans l'obscurité, tu ne peux plier, mais tu ne peux ne pas briller. En ce monde lourd, grave et gravité, un vrai délire, des tonnes de livres en vérité, tous avariés. Je regarde l'histoire et nos récits dansent. Même peuple, même sang, même frisson, même résilience, même élan de transcender le réel. Noir poème, nulle part ne réside, malgré le poids, malgré le temps, nos raisons dansent. Quelle belle ruse. La vie est un jardin de roses et de ronces, et tu peux rire aux larmes et à l'arme, mais tu peux rire aux éclats d'âme. C'est vrai, je l'avoue, c'est le jeu de la vie. De la gravité s'élever est le seul aveu, je jubile. Et quand j'y pense, mais le plus souvent j'oublie. Pour briller, il faut que la nuit t'habite. Ceux qui furent là avant l'ont fait, par grâce ou par folie. Ne plus savoir, ne plus voir la nuit, les failles, le fouillis, ne plus s'affoler. Ne plus sentir ni le poids des choses, ni l'odeur du temps. Face à la malchance ou au malheur, ne pas douter du tout. Parfois le rêve est plus vrai que la réalité. Et on rêve quand on a mal. Fais-toi l'idée. Rappelle-toi ton héritage. Nana Ashantiwa, Sundiata, Samori Touré, Sankara, Lumumba. Toutes ces femmes et ces hommes noirs lumineux, malgré leur état d'âme, sont restés alités. Et nos raisons en rhizome dansent. Noire résilience, noir amour. Comme eux, l'amour t'est donné dans ton ADN. Et si tu brilles, alors moi aussi je brille, et ça until the end. Depuis ce temps, quand je tombe, je me rêve. Quand les temps semblent trop sombres, que la lumière ressemble aux ombres, les yeux dans le vide, au bord du ravin, je me rarrive. Depuis ce temps, quand je tombe, je me rêve. Je suis le fruit de la colonisation. La larme des ruines qu'ils ont laissées lentement, tranquillement en se faisant une raison, alors je me demande qui je suis à présent. Je viens de Côte d'Ivoire, Afrique de l'Ouest direct. Là, moins faire de le dire, je n'en parle aucun dialecte. Car la façon de penser de colons ou de parents adeptes, ta langue natale te mène nulle part. Apprends l'anglais, cache-net. Et puis je rentre dans leur système scolaire, où de leurs mots, j'apprends l'histoire de mes frères. Mon histoire, qui fait de moi un Africain. Ou ce qu'ils en ont fait, au fait, je n'en sais rien. Tout ce que je veux dire, c'est que je vis mal. Non, pas que je vis mal. Mais une partie de ma vie reste inconnue. Ce monde est fait de tellement d'incompris. C'est malgré moi, croyez-moi, que j'en fais partie. Je suis le fruit de la colonisation. Les larmes des ruines qu'ils ont laissées lentement, tranquillement en se faisant une raison, alors je me demande qui je suis à présent. Un Africain à l'éducation française. Mon Dieu, moi, l'hypocrisie, ça me rend mal à l'aise. Mais là où tu pensais faire une entaille, une nouvelle vague d'Africains naît et c'est une vague sans faille. Alors voilà, on n'a plus peur des coups de canon. Ben non, ceux des colons nous ont rendu caméléons. Mon nom Fabrice, mon nom de village c'est Eliaka. Double vision du monde, c'est un cadeau de toi. Alors à temps plein, j'ai l'âme enracinée. Et par-dessus, je suis habitant du monde entier. So quand tu me vois, oublie vite CNN. Sinon, la bête en moi va remettre à jour la scène. Je suis le fruit de la colonisation, la larme des ruines qu'ils ont laissées lentement, tranquillement en se faisant d'une raison. Alors, je me demande qui je suis à présent. Si tu brilles, je brille. Merci au Théâtre Black. Merci beaucoup pour l'accueil, pour l'amour et tout ce que vous nous faites passer comme moment ce soir. Merci à ceux qui ont tendu leurs oreilles et je vais continuer à m'amuser. Merci à tout le monde. Thanks, Dina.
Thank you,
I'm gonna keep
Fabrice.
enjoying that.
We were out of sync, but we were listening. Tu as dit, pour briller, il faut que la nuit, quoi? T'habites?
Mais oui, oui. Of course. Mais comment tu peux voir si tu brilles sinon?
Shine, Black people. Shine, Black people. I'm just, thank you. Thank you for
Merci
that.
beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi. I hope everyone's all right. J'espère que ça va bien, tout le monde. On est rendu à notre 5e poète. Jason Blackbird Selman is a writer and musician, editor, event curator, youth worker, father, husband. He is a quiet man, but sunshine doesn't make a lot of noise. It just does the work and brings the light. Please welcome Jason Blackbird Selman. Hello.
Hi.
It's all yours.
Okay. All right. Love. What greater mystery, what silent sensation to haunt this happiness? Bleak evening hours, beauty to bind us, arisen untouched. Put a spell on, eyes wide open and interlocking. The measure of a man is kindness. Not every man has knowledge of kindness. Not every man has the strength to be kind. Only in honesty is there kindness. Only in every attempt to show sincerity. I awoke this morning and I remembered you, not with longing nor with want, with joy, with hope, with laughter, with tears, with love. Is it in the heart or in the head? Perhaps it is in what the head and heart say to one another when they agree, one not overwhelming the other, but both being overwhelmed together. Unity. I woke this morning and I remembered you. Good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with all of these amazing Montreal poets, Svenz, Fabrice, Shanice, Rowan, Deanna, and just to have an opportunity to be a writer, a performer, to be asked by Black Theater Workshop to do this, to have a space in this city for us to do what we have to do and heal what we have to heal with words. I'm very thankful. Eight things to make a Black man cry. 1, the feeling of helplessness, that nothing will change, no matter how much we resist, protest, push back. 2, the knowledge that you are at death's door, the knee having been at your neck for 8 minutes now. You can see your mother's face as you call her name. 3, the impact of the first bullet as it stings your back, your body, unprepared. 4. The phantom chill that shackles you to your hospital bed. 6 shots later. Halftime. I turn on my TV. I see Black women and men overcome, athletes, champions, tears in their eyes. The mask we wear is coming off. 4 years ago, to the day I write this poem, a man takes a knee. So many years later, all major sports teams have taken pause. Perhaps the world is changing. If not, at least we are. 5. The day I meet a local victim's family. You have so much in common. Where you come from, where we went to school, the park where we met, where I learned to ride my bike. As I try to console them, I am at a loss for words. The protest carries on, a poem, my only offering. 6. The triggering that comes with every new name, new face, new victim added to the list. You remember, you mourn, you scream inside. A single tear runs down your face, slowly. 7. The call that tells you you have lost your daughter. She is dead. At the hands of the police, in her sleep, in her home. The wrong home. The right tone to her skin. 8. The moment you decide to talk to someone, a friend, a professional, about all the hell that you have lived through in this Black body, when you let go. The dam to your pain is broken. Water floods the nation, water mixed with blood. I have one more. I just want to say again, thank you so much for having me, and enjoy and support Black Theater Workshop and Montreal artists as much as we can, because whether we realize it or not, we are at an embarrassment of riches in terms of art and Black art in this city, and we need to shine a light on that, because there's so much art, so many amazing artists that I can call friends and comrades and brothers and sisters, colleagues in the city, and do the best you can to support them in this time and after this season of pandemic. Please do what you can. I came home. Though I knew I wasn't wanted there, to show my face, to give it value. To face the music, to listen to it too. To pick up the pieces of a broken, shattered crown. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Before I leave this place, I would like everything to be in order, with my heart and the hearts of those that I wish to inhabit, to build a legacy out of one apology. At last, in love with love. If we are crying now, at least we are crying together, young and old, the innocent and those less than so, in a house made home by a homecoming, an apology, a reconciliation that no one expected. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to say I was around when that piece was written, and I've seen its evolution. And I know, as with Rowan's piece and other pieces, that it was difficult to do. So thank you for that. All right, everyone. Whew. We're going to take a moment to hear from Black Theater Workshop's season sponsor, TD Bank Group, who does a lot to support what's going on at BTW, who has done a lot and is continuing to do a lot over the last few years. So we're going to hear from our season sponsor at BTW, and then we're going to come back and have a Q&A and talk. I think this is a nice moment for everyone to take a breath. So we'll hear from TD Bank Group now.
Hi, my name is Naki Osute, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Social Impact Canada at TD Bank Group. On behalf of TD, I'd like to thank you for being here today. This February is not just another Black History Month. We are gathering at a time when Black communities and allies around the world are demanding we confront the ongoing realities of anti-Black racism in all aspects of society. We must continue to press progress forward. When we launched the TD Ready commitment in 2018, our goal was to support the conditions necessary for a more equitable tomorrow. Now, 3 years later, that commitment has helped put us on a path to help address inequities across social, economic, and environmental spheres. We continue to seek out better ways to support the Black customers, colleagues, and communities that we serve today and will serve into the future. Over the last year, we've invested more time than ever before in dialogue with community and industry leaders from Black-led, Black-owned, and Black-serving organizations, while centering the voices of Black TD colleagues. And we're embedding those lessons learned into our institution, driving change and creating a better bank as we move forward. On behalf of TD, I thank you for supporting our collective learning journey with your presence here today.
All right. Is everybody okay? Whew. I have the good fortune of spending a little bit more time, as we all do, with these poets, but I get to ask them questions. So in order of appearance, Svenz, Telemach.
How are you, Dina?
I'm going to be okay eventually. Ooh, Lord. Shanice, Nicole. You okay, Shanice?
I'm doing well.
Okay. Fabrice?
What a show.
Fabrice?
Yeah,
Rowan?
assumé.
I mean, and Jason. Okay. Whew. See, I thought I was smart. I was like, hey, I'm not performing. I just get to ask questions. I received it all differently this time. Okay, I see you. Svenz, your set was shorter. I want to ask you 2 questions. Okay. So first, since we're talking about love and resilience, what do we here together and those watching, what do we need to know about love?
Well, you know what? It's funny because I had this discussion with Rowan the other day when we were talking about love and resilience, and I feel like resilience is in love. I feel like love is like the color black. Black has like every color in it, right? So I feel like there's no way to create a love without resilience. It's impossible. So I feel like love is resilience.
Well said. Absolutely. Another question. I'm a very auditory person. I hear my poetry before I write it. So I don't know if you're like that, but I'm going to ask you this question. Have you ever had a poem wake you up or chase you down, or some line that just wouldn't leave you alone? And what was it?
Oh, all the time.
Okay, good.
All the time. Like for the poem that I created, the line that really got me, there's like more than one line, but one of the first ones was, my heart is like Braille. My heart has become like Braille. If you don't touch me, you won't understand.
Yes. Yes. Very, very profound and with multiple meanings. Thank you.
Thanks, D.
All right. Shanice. Svenz answered the question about love, but what do you think we need to remember about resilience? We're all exhausted right now, but if you could share with us something that we need to remember or even learn about resilience, what would that be?
Yeah, I feel like resilience is a tricky word, because on one hand it speaks to, you know, our power and capacity, and on the other hand, I think it also it perpetuates this idea that we are unbreakable, not affected, you know, disposable. And so I struggle with that idea of resilience, you know, and of course we have the power to reclaim words and to make them you know, what we want them to mean. But I do sometimes struggle with the tension there, because we absolutely are resilient, but also like we don't have to be, or shouldn't have to be, at least not all of the time. So, but for me, it's like undeniable to kind of separate Blackness from resilience. So it's something that is present and true, but I also really like invite Black folks to move into that space of not necessarily having to like claim that all of the time, you know, and that it's okay to not feel resilient, to not be resilient, to need to take a break, to rest, to fail, to like literally break, you know. And I feel like we don't have that permission. So that's what I want to offer.
Absolutely. Absolutely fair, because there's a toxicity around be strong, be resilient as something that is necessary, but we know not always attainable. So yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Fabrice, tu nous as parlé d'être le fruit de la colonisation. Si tu étais capable, je pense que tu es sur mute là maintenant, mais si tu étais capable, apprendrais-tu ta langue maternelle et écrirais-tu dans cette langue? I know.
Oui, absolument. Oui. La réponse est oui. La réponse courte est oui, parce que je pense qu'avec une langue vient une façon de penser. Avec une langue, une façon de penser, une culture évidemment aussi. Donc, je pense que j'aurais beaucoup apprécié, puis je peux le faire maintenant, mais j'aurais apprécié, oui, avoir élaboré et le Wolof dans mes atouts. Ouais, ça m'aurait ouvert, je pense, l'esprit. Donc, ouais.
OK. Penses-tu que, est-ce que tu es en train d'apprendre ou est-ce que tu te sens bilingue?
Amour et
quadrilingue?
Amour. C'est compliqué d'apprendre maintenant. C'est beaucoup plus compliqué d'apprendre maintenant. Depuis les derniers 10 ans, là, je commence à essayer d'apprendre, mais il y a pas de livre, il faut aller au village, puis passer 6 mois au village, là. C'est ça qu'il faut faire. Et dans la vie qu'on a maintenant, là, on est tellement opprimé, oppressé, on doit tellement faire preuve de résilience que je pense que, en fait, je pense qu'on est dans la résilience, et on va mourir dans la résilience, et entre les deux, là, on doit choisir nos résiliences, les choix qu'on doit faire, parce que dès que tu respires déjà, c'est déjà un combat. Donc après, c'est un choix de bataille desquels. Et je mets pas assez d'énergie peut-être dans faire l'effort d'aller au village pendant 6 mois là. Je dois payer mon loyer.
I would miss you if you go, but we would love to hear what you have to say when you come back.
Notez.
Miss Rowan.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I have a question for all of you, sort of as a follow-up to this, but Rowan, what do you think? How much do you think our current situation in terms of dealing with micro and macro aggressions of all sorts is affecting our mental health as Black people? Not COVID, not stress of work and all of those things, but just the grind and the extra obstacles and all of those things. How do you think those things affect us? And what can we do about it?
Man, yes. First, I would say is what's amazing is that so many of us don't even recognize how it's been taking a toll on us because we're so sensitized, we're so accustomed to it, right? And we just roll through our day seeing it as some different moving parts, and we're like, oh, whatever, I'm good. And we are overcomers and we are victorious. And these are the things that we say to the point that we don't address it. And I think, well, for me, I'll speak for myself and a lot of people that I've spoken to, like when we see these atrocities, whether it's micro, macro, or things that we are going through in our daily lives, when it's the major things and our eyes are getting to grasp it in a different picture, then we're like, oh, and that's when I realized, like, I'll say it straight up, like George Floyd. This was different imagery, same situation that we've gone through ourselves personally, or we know someone has gone through, or we've read about, but we've learned to like wake up and go to work. It's just another day. And then we go to work and deal with those microaggressions, or, you know, and we just continuously go through it. And I think the only way to and I won't use the word overcome, because like Shanice said, sometimes we need to just validate that it's happening and that we're going through it. And we should not feel the need to fight it all the time. Sometimes we need to step back and just reset. And I think the way we can really deal with it is to come together and have that conversation. And I know you said not just even the COVID, but in a time where we are told to socially distant, I realized that society was like, okay, mental health and self-care, mental health. But I think there's such an importance, like this right now to me is therapy. It is community care. Yeah. We need to stay connected and have the dialogue and listen to each other and how we're dealing with our experiences. Tap in and not just check in, you know, but show up for yourselves, but show up for those close. And if you can't show up, that is okay as well. Because we're tired. So, and this goes back to our love and resilience, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and we're not always going to be in full flow, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Thank you. Jason, I know you're working on a major project right now. I'm not going to give all of the details of that away, but there's been a particular focus on ancestors. So I just wanted to ask you, to what degree have ancestors influenced what you do? And given the project that's going on, to what degree you think they will influence what you do in the future?
I think it's always been there because I want it to be in line. And when I say in line, I mean in line with the tradition and where I come from as a poet in the diaspora, and looking at, you know, elders and ancestors, whether it's Bob Kaufman or Langston Hughes or Amiri Baraka, Pablo Neruda, those kind of people, or, you know, jazz ancestors, Lee Morgan, Coltrane, you know, soca ancestors, Carew, Gabby, Sparrow. You know, I want to be, you know, in line with the best of all of those things. And the diaspora, as an African, as a West Indian, as someone in the Americas, you know, be a part of it and add to that. Ska ancestors, reggae ancestors, all those things, and take a little piece of each of those things. That's what I've wanted. That's what I want my legacy to be, is to really be a manifestation of diaspora. And I think because of this project, I have a better understanding of the closeness that I can be with my literal ancestors. My grandparents, great grandparents, that the answers are there if I'm willing to ask and be open and hear. I think I didn't think that all of that was possible for me to ask my mother and my father certain questions, and I think I've been surprised in the last 2 weeks about how open they were to give me the answers, unlock the many mansions that are at my disposal.
Thank you. Svenz, I see you nodding, so I'll extend the question to everybody. How have your artistic and literal ancestors informed what you do? And to what degree do you think that they may inform and influence you more going forward?
I know I'm going to misquote him, but what he actually said was, until the hunted are the historians, the hunters will always be glorified in history. And that was, it's very hard to say his name, but that was Chinua. I can't say it right, but he's a Nigerian author. He wrote a book called All Things Fall Apart. And I felt like, just like with my brother Blackbird here, I feel like writing is such a way for us to not just suppress what we feel, but to express what we feel, whether that is us expressing it in a resilient way or us expressing it in a very vulnerable way. I just feel like it's a way to just strike back in a way that could just never be changed. You get what I mean? Because once it's written, once it's published, once it's in ink, it's like forever. You follow me? So I think about Ida B. Wells. And for me, like when it comes to Black history in North America, above every other name for me is Ida B. Wells, then Harriet Tubman. And Ida B. Wells, her works were just a body of work to get people to realize what was going on when it came to lynching and strange fruit in North America. And you have a woman that's like the original Rosa Parks. Like before Rosa Parks, there is Ida B. Wells being dragged off a train and suing that train station and taking that money to start a newspaper. And with the power of her words, she got like a wave of people from the South to go all the way out west, as far as to Arkansas, just because of her words. So for me, I would say Ida B. Wells, James Baldwin, Langston Hughes as well. Just like these writers just show me the power of not just keeping your words under your book, but actually publishing, taking your book and making it something that could be accessible and that will outlive you. So that's how I would answer that question.
Thank you. Anyone else want to chime in on that question? Y'all are real quiet all of a sudden. Okay, so I'll ask this other question. Given where we are in Jojage, called Montreal, and the conflict around language that often erupts, the fact that we are all bilingual folks here, to what degree do you think what you write and how you write is limited by doing it in a colonizer's language? I know, I can't help it.
I would say yes and no. The answer is yes, but I still feel like I really enjoy hearing poets perform in languages that I have less comprehension of, or no understanding, or very little, because something still comes across. I think about my friends in Cuba Obsession, and listen to them rap in Spanish, and I still feel it. you know, or to do the work and try to find, you know, the translations of, you know, Georgie Ben or Celia Cruz. You know, there's work to be done, or you know, but we can do it, you know, and I think the work in for us in a diaspora is to say, you know, this language has value, the other language has value. Spanish has value because it allows me to communicate with Obsession. French has value because it allows me to communicate with Fabrice. Or you know, Portuguese has value because it allows me to communicate with my brothers and sisters in Brazil. So it's for us to do that work little by little by little, so we can, you know, unite the diaspora one friendship at a time, and that's not easy, especially for me as a quiet, maybe not always communicative person, because learning that language is about speaking and talking to other people, and learning, you know, little by little by little, and as Fabrice says, being in that village, and it's about immersing yourself. But that's part of the work that has to be done.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'd just like to piggyback on what he said and say the value that I feel like in knowing the colonizer's tongue is simply the fact that I'm able to communicate with my other brothers, like you mentioned. Like when I think of French, because me coming from the States and having to learn French here, it's like I didn't really see too much value in French until I realized I could speak to a brother in Cote d'Ivoire, in Congo, because they have so many dialects that it would be almost impossible, you know what I mean, to communicate with all of these dialects and get like just all of these places. So I feel like it simplifies that task. And in learning that language, I guess that it's kind of like Nat Turner. You get what I mean? They imposed something on him and he took that same thing and used it as something to liberate. So that's how I see it.
Thank you. And yes, Rowan, yes. Thank you. Fabrice, ça te tentait de dire un mot là-dessus?
Can you say that question again?
To what degree do you think this craft of writing, this life of writing and communicated is affected by doing it in a colonizer's language? Tu en as parlé un peu.
Someone like me who doesn't really have the choice. I wasn't really given a choice. I could have chosen differently then and learned my languages, but then I was busy learning Spanish and English and whatever, so I can go to university and stuff. It's really the only way I have for me to know who I am. I mean, that's the only avenue, the only way I have for me to discover myself. And at the same time, it's a bridge to so many other places, IT here and other places where they speak French too, and where Black people are. I've learned about slavery here more than everywhere else. We kind of hear about colonization where I'm from because we're colonized now. So it's not this, it's the same, but at the same time, it's a bit different. So to me, when I went into poetry, it actually because I just started capoeira, and from capoeira, I learned so much about what those people who were taken from Africa did with it, like in Brazil and in the rest of the USA. So that actually brought me to get to know myself better. And well, French was the way. So I wasn't questioning who gave me the language, or it's just what I know, I guess, and it's the way I'm going to express myself and be resilient or not. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what I would say.
Rowan, Shanice?
Yeah. So at first, when I hear it, being from Quebec, all the political stuff, the pressures, my issues on how sometimes I feel like it's just imposed. However, when I'm in a space, if I was to travel and go to France, or if I go to Haiti, anywhere else I go, and if I hear, it's not an issue. I think it's really just really grasping and trying to connect with someone, saying, so if I go to someone else's home and they're cooking their national dish, food is food. And I just want to taste and experience that. So it's the same thing with the language. I don't think, no matter what my tongue may speak, I think it's coming from the heart is what I'm trying to connect with. So I believe art is from the heart, and whatever language you choose to deliver, And the beauty of being in Quebec, sometimes you hear people go in 2-3 languages. So maybe you're going to bust a little French, English, and Creole, or, patois and a little, even Ebonics. Like, it's so rich. I think that's a beautiful thing about it. When you're in a space like this, we come from different places and spaces and have our parents and our ancestors behind us, and we deliver all of that. It's so powerful to watch people do that. And that's what I connect with. Art is heart, and heart is art.
Thank you. Shanice, do you have a thought?
I don't know if I have anything really to contribute. I've really appreciated listening to everyone's experiences around language. I do appreciate, Fabrice, what you were saying around choice. And so in many ways, I wasn't given another option. And so, English is the language that I have known, and the language that my parents have known, and the language that their parents knew. And so I think it's an important question to kind of reflect on. But I do think about, again, the legacy and the strength of our ancestors who found ways to communicate that sometimes transcended language. And I think about the ways that we continue to explore that as well. And art is a good example of how we continue to find ways to connect and to communicate with each other. And so, yeah.
Thank you. We may have some questions in the chat or online. So thank you all for answering my questions. I'm just going to take a look and see if we have any from Facebook or any other sources, Quincy or Amber or Geo. No, we don't. Oh, everybody's overwhelmed. Everybody's just feeling filled up. I guess what they're going to have to do is buy your books and buy your albums and go see your shows when we're able to do all of that again. Thank you all, you beautiful souls, for sharing with us, for loving on us, for doing what you do so beautifully. I cannot wait until we can all be together again. I miss you. And Quincy will join us. Here you are.
Yes. Hello. Perfect timing. I'm just popping back in to just say, first of all, thank you to the 6 of you for this wonderful, spectacular, brilliant evening. I'm so thrilled for what this is. Thank you for coming together. Fabrice, thank you. Technology was not your friend today, but a special thank you to you and Dina for your resilience in dealing with the dangers and angers of technology, handled so very well. And I just want to say that, you all talked a little bit about, the healing that needs to happen and how difficult it's been for many of us, hills and valleys, and I certainly have been there. But being here tonight and just being in this space with all of you, I'm right now, I'm just feeling so inspired and enriched, and I feel like I was held for the past hour and a half. I feel like I was held by all of you, and I think in a lot of ways I didn't know how much I really wanted / needed to be held by my community. So I thank you so much for that. It was a really lovely evening. Svenz, thank you. Shanice, thank you. Fabrice, merci. Rowan, thank you. Jason, thank you. Dina, wonderful host, thank you.
Thank you
all so very much. This was just wonderful, and thank you, of course, to all of you who joined us this evening. It was a pleasure to have you with us. Please go to the Black Theatre Workshop website to see all of the other events that are going to be coming out, not just for Black History Month, but also around the city and around town. Support your local artists, support Black artists. Those of you who are familiar with Obsidian Theatre Company, go and check them out. Obsidian Theatre in Toronto, our dear friends, they have one of the most exciting projects going on right now called 21 Black Futures. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm sure you've heard about it, but if you haven't, check it out. It dropped tonight, I believe. 21 Black Futures at Obsidian, and anything else that's going on. Theaters could really use your support right now. So do whatever you can to support. the beautiful art that we love to make. On behalf of everyone at Black Theater Workshop, the staff and the board, thank you for joining us. I'm just going to quickly throw a shout out to the staff of BTW, in particular the ones who put this project together for us. I want to mention Christine Rodriguez, who coordinated all of this for us, Gio, who was doing our banners, and of course Amber Hood, who was our TD backstage, making sure that everything goes smoothly. Same for technology, but that's out of our hands. But everyone worked really hard to make this happen, and I'm so glad for the return of the Poetry Jam, and we will be doing it again for sure. Once again, thank you so much. Be well, take good care of yourselves and of the loved ones around you, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Good night, everybody.